The Rad Rover. Is this bike strictly for weak old people? Welcome back to my channel, CitizenCycle, dedicated to giving you some real-world information on motorcycles, parts, my e-bike, and letting you know what works, what doesn't, and just putting some useful information out there for you guys to take advantage of when you go to make purchases. I know I use YouTube a lot for that, so I wanted to add some useful content. So if that sounds good, check out some of my other videos. I've got videos on the Rad Rover, and I've got videos on my 4 other motorcycles. So let's talk about this 2018 Rad Rover. This is the full-size mountain bike one, so it's 26-inch wheels with the 4-inch wide fat tires. 2018 model. They did some updates in 2019 for the light and the tail light and the tires and stuff. But this has been a great bike so far. But I'm wondering, is this bike only for old people? Am I old? I don't know. I can tell you this, I've never seen a young kid riding one. It's usually middle-aged or older. Myself, I am late 30s, so maybe I'm old, maybe I'm not, I don't know. But I've noticed, I've done a few videos on this bike now. It's gotten some attention, a couple thousand views on a few of them, and I've noticed that everyone that comments on it seems to be older. 50s, 60s, 70s. So I'm wondering, is that the demographic this is made for? Retirement age folks? Or is that just the people that have the money to buy it? Because it's $1,500. So I don't think it is. I don't think it's strictly for old people. I think there's a whole bunch of other uses for this bike that you're maybe not even thinking of. I'm going to give you a few of them right now. And look at this wonderful place I found today. The gate was open. The gate's never open to this. So I decided to come in here. We have a nice paved track to ride around on, and no one's in here. So I'm enjoying this spot for the moment. But anyway, so here's some other ideas you might not think of for what you could use this for. And the first one I'll say, goes along with the age. If you're retired and you need some less strenuous exercise, I think it'd be great for that. It does exactly that. It's like the perfect bike for that. So let's just get that right out of the way. Number one, less strenuous exercise for folks that maybe are a little further along in their years. Going along with that, I think if you have an injury and you're trying to recover from your injury, I've ran into some people that have these bikes, and the one guy told me he had really, really bad knees, and this allowed him to go out and get some exercise without breaking his knees. So I think injury recovery would be a good thing. If you want to keep up with your kids, because they're full of energy and going a million miles an hour, and they want to go out and ride around town on their bikes, and you're going to run out of gas. You won't do that on this bike. You won't run out of gas. You'll be leaving them in the dust. So I think if you want to keep up with your children, this would be good for that. Let's take a spin around here. Since we got this track, we might as well use it. So yeah, keeping up with your kids, this will allow you to do that very well. You'll be leaving them behind for sure. I don't think they can pedal 25 miles an hour. I like these mirrors. These have been the best version I've come up with so far. These bar end mirrors, they were pretty good. I'll put the link in the description for that. Gets around your shoulders, That's all the other mirror setups I had, which I had like 4 different setups. None of them got around my shoulders like this did. So if you're older, if you need to keep up with your kids, if you have an injury you need to recover, I think it would work good for that. What else? I'll say if you are a lawbreaker and you've gotten your license taken away and you need a mode of transportation, here you go. You can get to work, you can get around town, you can go pick up a bag of groceries on this thing, and you don't need to license it, you don't need to register it, you don't have to have a driver's license, you can ride it anywhere, greenways, sidewalks, around town. So if you don't want to, buy a moped and have to worry about storing a moped somewhere and putting gas in it. And a moped, you actually have to register and get plated as a moped with the DMV. This you don't. This is just like a bicycle. You just jump on and ride. So it may be good for that. Something that people probably don't think of when they lose their license and you need to figure out a way to get around. Why waste a ton of money on Uber when you could just buy one of these bikes for $1,500 and you're good to go? Let's do a, it's kind of windy, so I can fight the wind, but let's do a little speed run here. I'm just going to twist the throttle and see what we can get up to on this nice, perfect track. You have to take it easy around the curve, but we'll take the curve slow. Yeah, see, it'll do 22 miles an hour all day long. Believe it or not, this track is kind of like up and downhill. It's not level. It's weird. It dips into the corners. But yeah, I never seem to run out of uses for this thing, I think. I've yet to take it very far off-roading. I personally don't think it's really meant for that. I know some of you will argue with me in the comments about that, but it's a cruiser bike. That's what it is. It's not an off-roader. Get over it. Stop typing. I got it muddy. I did keep it pristine for like ever, and then I decided to take it out in the rain and the mud and got it all filthy. One other thing that I just kind of thought of goes along with being an older crowd for this bike, and also too not having a car. You know, you go to these retirement communities and they all have golf carts. This might be another option. If you're in a spot where you're not allowed to have a car or you're not allowed to drive, but you need transportation still to go down to the end of the street and get your mail or cruise around the community, this could be good for that too. But I'm curious to know what the age range is for the folks that have this bike. I don't know how many people own a Rad Rover in the US. I would imagine quite a few, because it's a US based company, I think out of Seattle. But do me a favor, in the comments, just put how old you are. You don't have to give me your exact age, just say 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I've seen a number of 50s, 60s, 70s comments, so I'm curious to see what the age range is. So leave it in the comments. Tell me how old you are, what you use this bike for. Was there a use I'm not thinking of that people could go out and get this bike to use for? But yeah, let me know. I'm really anxious to see how old everyone is. Like I said, I'm late 30s. I don't know if that is considered old or not. I guess it depends on who you ask. But yeah, and if you're a 15-year-old kid and you have this bike, surprise me. Show me. I've never seen a young person on it, but I'm sure they're out there. But that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. If you like what you see, hit subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later.